our parents experienced, you know, a time of serious economic prosperity, maybe not so much in the 70s, but they weren't dealing with this prospect of doing worse off than their parents did, right?
Until about 2008.
Yeah. But our generation has grown up through the financial crisis of 2008. We went through COVID lockdowns and now another economic recession. I was looking at the Fred data on housing prices. The average cost of a house in 2013 was $307,000, right? Roughly.
Okay.
Which makes sense, like thinking about maybe what our parents probably paid for their like normal sized houses. Like that's about right.
Right.
The average price now, 10 years in the future, is $516,000.
See, you can't blame Gen Z's like whatever perceived lack of work ethic or, you know, lack of direction and community we have in life, that cannot all be blamed on us when that is a completely insurmountable amount of money for most people.
Yeah.
I mean, for that to be a 10-year difference, when we have not had a 10-year similar difference in like wages, for example,
Exactly.
is, you know, it's being kind of disingenuous to just be like, kids these days, they just don't want to work.
Yeah. And it genuinely, I think the main two factors, if I had to guess with just what I know, like inflation in general has gotten out of control because we've printed a lot of money in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
A lot of money. So the value of our dollar has decreased pretty dramatically. And there is something to be said about there maybe not being a big enough supply of these starter homes. And I think a lot of that has to do with regulation. And also housing got really expensive after COVID lockdowns. And a lot of that had to do with supply chains and construction sites shutting down. So, you know, there are a lot of factors at work. And as per usual, a lot of them have to do with government intervention, right? But housing is a lot more unaffordable for people now. And I think it might have been the New York Times I saw today as I was just doing my morning Twitter scroll. I really need to stop doing that. But the New York Times had published something about how young graduates are no longer moving to these major cities and how housing prices have to do with that. And I believe that. Like Atlanta is getting expensive. It's getting very expensive. And just on a more personal note, like I want to be in a house and like engaged, getting married, all of that stuff, like within the next few years. And after our conversation with Peter Jacobson, go check out that episode. I don't have as high of hopes that the housing market is going to come down in a really significant way. It has come down a bit since 2021, 2022. Right. So if you just do a Zillow scroll, like the prices are dropping, but
the bursting bubble that we kind of expected, it seems like it's less and less likely to happen now.
Yeah. So it seems like the high costs are going to remain.